Alright, YouTube, this is kind of just going to be I don't know, a testimonial, kind of me sharing my approach to preparing myself for retirement, for savings for the future at this working stage of my life, because I'm at those years in life where I'm productive and able to work and gain income. But there will come a time where that won't be the case as much in the future. Thus, we have to save and prepare for the future as best we can. And spend and use as many of these wisely as we do, as pass through us and come into our possession. The analogy I have for these is they're kind of like, I guess you could say, salmon or fish swimming in a stream, and you're a big grizzly bear and you got to catch as many as you can to fatten up for the winter. And there's only going to be a fixed amount that swim by you, and there's only going to be a fixed amount that you're capable and able to catch and grab. And well, we all have different friends, different family members, and they all have different goals and objectives in life, different priorities. And sometimes you might feel like, oh, I'm not doing as well as this person, or oh, look how much fun they're having. Oh, look at all those vacation pictures on Facebook. Or you'll look at their car and be like, wow, they have a brand new car. How did they afford that? And one thing you need to remind yourself and consider at times is things are not always as they appear. They may seem one way, but they're not always this. Underneath, there might be a whole lot more to the story than what you are able to perceive in just your observations of friends and family. Not that it's any of our business, but we're all human. You can't help but consider, where you're at and in life and where other people are at, and in comparing things at times. And a lot of us keep our finances private. However, here through anonymity, I can share with you and be a little bit more open in discussing my views on this, and maybe clue you in on a little bit of the way that I've been able to accumulate a fairly good stack for someone in my age and my income level. Because believe me, I am not wealthy. I'm wealthy in things that matter most, but financially, I do okay. I'm a middle to low income earner, but I'm able to save, and that's the big thing, because every little bit counts. One way that I believe all of us can save more, and I can do better at this myself as well, is how fiscally responsible we are. Treat your house, your life, almost as if you're the, well, I don't want to say treat it like you're the government, because then you'd go overboard and you'd accumulate $1 billion worth of debt on a $25,000 a year income. But what you can do is look at your overall budget. Look at what comes in every month. Try to do this with me. And cut out every single bill, every monthly expense that you don't absolutely need. Cut them. Reduce it. If you have a smartphone and your smartphone plan is $100 a month or $50 a month for data, get rid of it. Get a dumb phone that just takes phone calls that you need. I've had the same cell phone. I've had this cell phone right here for 8 years. I'm not kidding you. It's about a $10 a month family plan that I'm part of. Take that other money and put it into metals. Do you really need to cruise the internet when you're sitting on a bus? Do you really need to be sitting there at work on your lunch break playing Scrabble with somebody? Sure, some of you might put a value on that. But in the big scheme of things, does it really matter? If anything, I think those smartphones have a drawback socially, because you're missing connections out there in the world that you might otherwise have had. People to meet, conversations to have, because you're so clued in on staring at your smartphone. That's one area that we can all cut back on, I think, financially. Pay cash for things. Don't use your credit cards. Do you have to buy a brand new car? Does everybody have to own the latest car? My vehicle was made in 1994. It's a Toyota. Runs like a top. I maintain it. I take care of it. I have no car payment on it. Don't have a car payment. It's not your responsibility to stimulate the economy. It's not your job to create jobs in Detroit. Own a 10 or 15-year-old vehicle. The newest vehicle, a friend of mine who is very well off, told me, you should never buy a vehicle, ever, newer than 2 years old. Always buy a 2-year-old vehicle. Let someone else take that depreciative hit. As soon as you roll a brand new vehicle off the lot, you lost money. Never buy a new vehicle. Abide by that rule. Trust me with that rule. Just do it. There's no argument that you can give me to convince me otherwise. I will not buy a brand new vehicle. It's not going to happen, ever. As I said in one video when I showed you that really large stack of my friend's gold, if you really want to have gold, if you really want to stack gold and silver and have a lot of it and be wealthier one day, you need to forgo other things. You have to want other things less. It's work now and play later, or play now and work later. That's just the way it is. The more comforts, the more toys, the more things that you buy, the less you will have in the future. Every dollar that comes into your possession right now that you spend, you will not get that dollar back again. It's just the way it is. Somewhere in the big scheme of things, on this planet and in this universe, you are going to earn a fixed amount of these. Somewhere is that number in your entire working lifetime. That number might be 5 million, might be 6 million, might be $789,342.82. But there is a number out there with your name on it. And that's the fixed amount of these you're going to get. And once you blow them, want $1 here, $5 here on that, $20 on this. You go to the store, impulse buy that, get yourself a latte here and there, buy a couple of drinks. Get this, I work with a guy. I got to share this with you. Please stand by for this story. You're not going to see this on CNN or cable news. But I got a friend. Me and him almost make the identical income. He works with me. He has no kids, no house payment. It's like $400 in rent. He's got a truck payment. That's it. Perpetually broke. And I'll tell you why. I mean, it's very obvious. I don't know why he doesn't see it. People try helping him and talking to him, but he lives life. I mean, you could say he lives it to the fullest, but he's always, partying or going to this, hanging out with guys over here, and going to the bar after skiing, and buying people beers, and he himself drinking beer, going out to eat, traveling, driving all over the country, seeing this, seeing that. And I'm not saying in order to save and to have a nice little stash, you need to forego everything. You still need to live your life and have a good time, but you need to do it intelligently and with some reservation and conservatively, okay? You don't want to, you need to, as my grandma used to put it, you need to live within your means. Do not live like a millionaire if you are a 100,000-aire. And don't live like a billionaire if you're a millionaire. It just doesn't work. Another wise thing my little grandmother said once was, I'm going to try to do her voice a little bit. And I don't mean any disrespect because I love her. But she would say, these young people, they want everything right now. None of them want to work for it. None of them want to save their money. They just want it all right now. And they don't care. They just feel like they deserve it and they're entitled to it. So they go out and they get whatever they want and they get it right now and they don't care if they go into debt for it. When I was younger, you worked and you saved, and when you had money, then you went and you bought things with it. How smart is that? Could you imagine if we all lived like that? The credit card didn't exist until the 70s. Imagine having no debt, not paying interest. Interest kills, destroys, and erodes and eats your wealth like a disease. It's like a dystrophy to your muscles. It's horrible. The more interest you pay, you're hemorrhaging money. You're hemorrhaging your dynasty. You're not passing it on to your kids, to their kids. Think of the wealth that families could accumulate and hold on to if they just did not accumulate so much debt. The hundreds and thousands of dollars that are siphoned out of every household in this country due to excessive spending and debt. Imagine if they just loaned each other money instead of going to banks for it, and the interest stayed in the families if there was interest. I mean, you see a pretty healthy amount of gold here. I mean, this is 10 Krugerrands right here. That reflects a lot of work for me. That was a lot of labor for me to save and to work to just get this one little tube of coins. To see 10 eagles over here, that was a lot of work for me. You know, when I hold a gold ounce, I look at it and I realize I worked hard for that. And no one's going to bust in to my bank vault and take this without my permission. We all saw what happened to the Cypriots. They trusted their banks, and the banks were attempted to take 10% of their wealth away off the top to bail out the Russian mob and themselves and all that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, for each one of you out there that's part of this channel and hangs out and likes to think and discuss these things, try to help. I think a lot of you are on the same page. So I'm probably preaching to the choir, and I apologize for that. I don't mean to. I'm not preaching. I don't want to talk to you guys in that way, but maybe it's all of our responsibility, you guys as well, to approach friends or family not in a condescending way, not even like as if you're educating them, but maybe in casual discussion. Somehow, maybe there's a way that you can talk to them, and we can create some kind of a movement away from going into debt. Because remember, debt does not equal wealth. Debt equals slavery and impoverishment. Because you can only serve two masters, or one master. You cannot serve both. You cannot serve both. I'm going to say it: God and money. And if you have a debtor, if you're in debt and you yourself are a debtor, you are a slave to the holder of that debt, and you serve them. And we should, what's really important in life, not even here, none of this is, but who we are, our good deeds, what we do, and the legacy we leave behind, and doing right, I guess, by God, and treating everyone equally, and loving each other, loving our neighbor, our family, our friends. But I think debt is a major corrupting force in this country right now. We see it all around us. And one way to avoid it is to cut back. Have a net balance to your life. When all the math plays out, your assets, your liabilities, and it all comes out at the end, make that number be in the black. Keep it a net value. Who cares if it's 1 ounce of gold or 20 ounces of silver? Just make sure you don't owe anybody anything. You can go to bed a lot easier at night, and it'll take the power away from the people that hold it. Think how much pleasure they get out of it, knowing that everybody out there owes them. And when I say them, I'm talking the debt collectors, the banks, the financial institutions that hold your mortgage, that hold the note to your car, the furniture company that holds the note to your couch that you bought on credit. So cut up your credit cards. Cut up your Home Depot card. Cut up your Lowe's card. Cut up your Target card. When they ask you, hey, do you want to apply for this card? Say no. Walk past them. Don't take the free candy and make conversation. Reduce your cell phone plan. Get rid of your cable plan. Sheesh. Have internet, yeah, because you can communicate and do things like that. It's just so much more valuable. You can make money on it. You can sell things. You can buy things. And the internet, I think, is valuable. But cut out as much debt as you can and monthly expenses. Reduce your car payment. Pay it off. Get rid of it. Do what you can to minimize the outgoing of money from your monthly income. Keep as many of these that come in as you can, and really try to cut off how much of this leaves you. Because it's like another analogy would be like your total wealth is like a body. And each one of these is a red blood cell that circulates and delivers oxygen and removes waste and keeps you healthy. And if you start hemorrhaging, losing blood, eventually you die. So if you start hemorrhaging, the more of these you lose, the more dollars you lose, the less cells you have circulating to deliver oxygen and nutrients to your body and to your life, to your family. And it can be detrimental to you. So try to cut off the hemorrhaging, put a tourniquet on your spending, and keep stacking if you can. Get some silver. Sometimes you got to really discipline yourself and forego other things, other comforts. Sometimes it's very painful for me to go into a store and to walk out with a 1/4 ounce of gold, because I know for the rest of the month I will not be getting certain things. I won't be. It's not a whole lot of fun right there. It's beautiful to look at, nice to hold, nice to put away somewhere, but there's a reason you see gold coins in such a valuable and beautiful condition from 100 years ago or more. They didn't get used a whole lot. They basically find themselves here, stashed away someplace, as a wealth transfer or storage of wealth, because that's all it is. But if I do need it someday to get me through a certain point in time, if I need the gold and the silver to buy a new house or a new car, well, there it is, ready to do its job. So, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Hope I can get a couple comments out of you guys. And forgive me if it's so boring you were checked out 5 minutes ago. So, have a good spring day, and try to save some money today while you're out there going about your business. Thanks.